go. Brain engaged. Now let's leave it there. I'm going to leave that rope on there. I'm going to shake it. I'm also going to hold this one going to the halter so that he can't go bigger. So he's been standing here just wearing this saddle for an hour and a half or so. And before I unsaddle him, I want to work him with these lines a little bit, get him worked towards ground driving. I never did see him buck with the saddle, which is pretty nice to see. So I'm going to start by rubbing the lines all over him. And as he challenges into my space, I'm going to continue with the theme of more pressure. He's wanting to put his face on me. I'm going to continue with more pressure. Let's take this line and kind of start swinging it around. Swinging around his legs. Now he's moving. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to swing the lines, bump the lines with him, rub them on him. Nothing about what I'm doing here says go. And I want him to understand that. I'm not leading with my left hand. I'm not sending. And I'm going to just keep going. When he was loose out here a minute ago, he was walking around, dragging the line. It rubbed his feet. Let's put it up here. I'm going to keep him small. It's touching him. Let's put it back up there. Put it back up there again. Keep him small again. Keep him small. Remember the other day when I worked him, if you saw that video, I was sacking him out with the lunge whip. There we go. Brain engaged. Now let's leave it there. I'm going to leave that rope on there. I'm going to shake it. I'm also going to hold this one going to the halter so that he can't go bigger. I'm going to encourage him to turn his head to me, just like I was doing earlier. And I'm going to keep shaking this right one, because what I want to happen here is I want this right one to not mean go faster. It's all between his back legs. That's okay. It doesn't mean go faster. It doesn't mean run. Now we'll release the pressure. It'll all get still. Pet on him. Good boy. Later, when we're riding him out in the woods, we don't want him to run off when he gets something caught between his legs. And in the process of teaching him to steer, we're going to be ground driving. So nothing about what these reins are doing means go. And that's what I want him to learn right now. All this flipping around, nothing about that means go. Keep shaking, keep shaking, keep shaking, keep shaking. And see how he's starting to turn that ear to me now that I put more pressure on him? Keep shaking, keep shaking, keep shaking. His feet get still, I'll stop and I'll pet on him. He looked away. I wasn't going to let him stop when he looked away. Not going to let him stop. I'm going to turn his head to me and I'm going to shake it more aggressive when he's looking away. Thought about stopping. Slowed down, but it didn't stop. Between his back legs, that's okay. Good boy. Now reward him. Pet on him. I don't have his attention. His ears are in there. He's looking in the barn. There was a horse that hollered, and that's actually why he stopped. But I still rewarded the right answer. That time he stopped and looked at me. That's the response I'm looking for. I'll pet on him. I'm going to be really careful not to pet him too much on his head because he already wants to bite and he already wants to get into my space. Back up. Back up. We talked about that in the first video that I did of him. His reward is more release of pressure, stand, than pet because of how he keeps challenging into my space. Different horses, you have to adjust that different. Shake it. Get still. Now I did use shaking when I was asking him to back up. Last time I worked him, if you saw that video, but the difference was I was telling him with my body to back up. This is just movement. My body is not telling him to move. There's no reason for him to move. He has to understand that, just like he has to understand me being bold means move, or I can go to his shoulder and that means don't move. He has to understand the difference, just like this doesn't mean move, but this means move. Challenge his brain to learn those things. Okay, so now let's see if he'll start following his nose. Let's get on this side of him. I'm going to take up the slack. Flipping around behind him. Now that I know he'll stand, I had to have him not spooking from it so that he could think and see if he'll follow his nose. Keep following your nose. Good boy. Good boy. Let's come all the way over here so the camera can see you better. Good boy. All right, now I'm going to throw it over him a little more aggressively. You saw me shaking it. He did good with that. Let's challenge him more. Follow your nose. Good boy. Good boy. Release of pressure is the reward. I'm not going to go pet on him because I don't want to keep encouraging him to come into my space. Let him stand here for a second. Then I'm going to go throw it the other direction. That was following his nose to the left. Now let's see if he'll follow his nose to the right. At this point, I'm not really clucking or anything. I will start teaching that go cue. But for right now, I just want him to follow his nose. That's all I'm after right now. Let's do one more time, following his nose to the right. And you see, I'm getting more bold, less careful about how I throw it over him. Encouraging him to want to stand still. Going around behind his back feet, and he's standing still. This is what I want. Nice progress. Flip it over his hip, and let's see if he'll follow his nose to the right. This is really hard because he sees me on the left eye, and I'm adding pressure on the right. So he has to learn to follow the pressure, not necessarily follow the visual. Good boy. See how nice this horse got when I started challenging him? We went from being dangerous to actually starting to show signs of a really nice horse in less than a week because I challenged him. And I see so many people get stuck with their horse because they're afraid to challenge them. And a horse like him, that's all he needed. He really wasn't trying to be bad. He didn't want to be bad. It's like a kid bored in school. He was getting in trouble because he was bored. Challenged him. His mind went to work, and he's happy now. Now I think he really enjoys doing stuff. So I'll put a link up here to his other videos. This is Phantom, and it's a huge change since, I think I only have one other video up. Huge change. Take a look at that video so you can see how much he's changed in just a couple of days. Until next time, thank you for watching.